You have outgrown the rooms that you are operating in. Welcome back to Wisdom Discerns. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, my name is Nicole and I am a seer. I am a transformative, inspirational life coach. And most importantly, I am a child of God, just as you are too. This video today is touching on several factors that will show up to remind you that you have outgrown the rooms that you are currently operating in. See, far too often we confuse loyalty, love, and even understanding what either one of these words actually mean. But what happens is that we have situations, people, places, and things who will show up for us for seasonal purposes, for a reason. And then you have those very few instances where individuals show up in your life for a lifetime. They are there to build, to construct, and to grow with you along the journey of development. When you confuse the loyalty aspect of life, and remember, loyalty is a privilege. It is never supposed to ever feel that it's a burden. But because many of us haven't quite grasped a hold of the true definition of what loyalty is, we will continue to fight and do whatever's in our grasp, our power, to hold on to something or someone, meanwhile not realizing that we are giving our power away to a temporary season in our life. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. See, along this journey called life, we will endure many different obstacles, many setbacks, many awards, many achievements, many traps set by the enemy to confuse us. 2 Timothy reminds us that I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. See, God said, as long as you ask anything in my name, I will give you. See, God stores up the gifts for the righteous. He stores up that protection, that guidance, that love, the agape love. See, when you allow love to be the fuel for your vessel, your energy will cleanse any space. See, God will continue to move through you because despite the attacks that the enemy have came to create bitterness and bickering and strife into your vessel, you continue to have the light and the love of the Most High God that shows up in the windows, your eyes, the windows of your soul. That's because God highlights you. He loves you. He adores you. And he wants you to know that although certain cycles come to an end, which are typically people, places, and things, he's just preparing you for another race, which means that you do not have to rush. You do not have to doubt that God will protect you, that although we are forced to believe that time is running out, I want you to know that with God, time is so fluid. And chosen one, you may have been attacked since you were a child. When I tell you that the attacks of the enemy was intended to confuse you as to what love is, to have you operating in a state of codependency, ultimately confusing what loyalty even is. God said that time is fluid, and it is through your faith, through your belief that God is real, even though we are living in a world today that many people have given up all hope that there is indeed a living God. It is through your love, through your light that's inside of you. Because remember, God is light. He is not darkness. It's through the willingness and the obedience that you have for the Most High God that He will continue to show up in the darkest of places, to show that God is with you. In fact, He is carrying you. Proverbs chapter 23 verse 9. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. You have to be careful who you're communicating your dreams to. Because see, God will place a dream in you, and you will communicate that to someone who you love or who you believe that you are being loyal to, when ultimately they will drown and choke that dream out of you, just as the parable of the weeds. See, it is the fool who does not ask questions because they feel that they will be foolish. But it is the wise person who asks questions. As children of the Most High God, we are encouraged to communicate to God. See, God knows us better than anyone could ever know us. Watches us develop. He knows when we're gonna screw up. He knows that we are not perfect. He knows the things that we fear. He knows that we are imperfectly perfect in His eyes. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10 states, if the axe is dull and he does not sharpen its edge, which is the mind, then he must exert more strength. Wisdom has the advantage of giving success. See, God equips us with the tools that are necessary to sustain us through any attack of the enemy along our journey. See, it is imperative for us to tune in and to do regularly checkups to ensure that our mind is sharp as a blade so that we can discern and cut through the trickery, the webs, and the weeds to maintain the royal blessing of wisdom in your weakest hour, that you are strengthened. And this is through humility, grace, and understanding. It is the mercy of the Most High God that continues to deliver and protect you. When you begin to outgrow people, places, and things, God will begin to move through you. He will find so many ways to communicate to you. But you have to be open, willing, and able to receive the messages from the Most High God. You have to be willing to test the spirit and to ensure that you are sharpening your mind. You are maintaining that connection stream to God so that you can discern the spirit. See, material gain can afford us the confusion. And I'm going to repeat that. Material gains can afford us confusion. It can show up and entangle our minds, okay? You can remain in a connection, a partnership. You can stay in a certain environment solely for material, financial purposes only. See, Isaiah chapter 55 verse 2 states, "Why do you spend money for what is not bread?" Your food. What are you consuming in your mind? Is it replenishing and hydrating and nourishing your spirit? And your wages for what does not satisfy. Listen carefully to me and eat what is good and delight yourself in abundance. See, when you are protected and favored by the Most High God, He will feed you that nourishment that you need. He will intercede and show up and heal you. Whose report will you believe? He's so much bigger. From any ailment that was devised and designed to attack you. And that attack could have been against your mind. It could have been against your health. It could show up in so many areas. Always protect those that love Him and that trust Him. Sometimes you are giving a job that will choke the living life out of you. I mean, some of us are working a job that is causing so many high levels of stress, where we go home often depleted, when we are completely disconnected mentally from connecting to our family. See, these jobs have the ability to block us from navigating and moving into the space of loving ourselves. See, when you look at love and loyalty and you discern the two, you realize that self-love is in connection with agape love. See, we are encouraged to love ourselves with the love of the Most High God. Encourages us to acknowledge our flaws, embrace them, and realize that we are not intended to be perfect. We are not intended to outshine anyone. See, it is usually the individual who is humble and who trust the Most High God, whose light will illuminate any space that they enter. And oftentimes these jobs that you are working, they deplete you and they suck you dry because you are around energies who are either jealous, they can be envious, and sometimes this jealousy and envy, it may show up from people who you have felt or who are on higher levels of social status from you. But it goes to show you that God's love and that light and that loyalty, because see, God's loyalty to us, it goes without being said through the protection that you have over your life. See, oftentimes you will feel that you are not worthy because let me tell you something. I know I am not worthy of the protection that I have from the Most High, but God feels that I am good enough. But He still loves me, though I ain't good enough, but He still loves me. See, it is the agape love that He shines on us that encourages us to embrace our flaws. As we embrace our flaws, it prepares us for the wickedness, the jealousy, and the envy that you will face in the world. And see, these signs will show up to remind you that you have outgrown these rooms that you are operating in. And that can be your job, that can even be a relationship that you have. You can outgrow a connection, because when you initially stepped into the partnership, because remember, it's a partnership, it's where two people come together. These areas and these arenas and these households that we establish and that we develop and we connect to, they're usually in accordance with the person that the individual met, who we were in that particular time of our life. But often as we grow and we evolve on our spiritual plane, okay, because it's constantly growth. We soar and we connect with the Most High God. As we grow and we become developed and we start to develop our character, many people, rooms, places, and things will begin to fall away from us because they're no longer in alignment with who we are in this particular season of our life. See, remember, we have these seasonal situations, we have lifetime situations, and we have, sometimes they are not even seasonal. See, if you look at the weather, the seasons last for a few months. Some of these people only came in our life for simply a conversation. And those are the conversations that we may have that will be with us for many, many years to come. Though I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. John chapter 6, verse 27. Do not work for the food which perishes, but for the food which endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give to you. For on him the Father God has set his seal. See, God will continue to show up and protect you. He will be our deliverer. He will release us from the snarl and the traps of the evil one. See, I want you to know that God, he knows. He knows that this world is not perfect either. And the people who are running it, they're not perfect either. And, he encourages us to have faith and to trust and to believe, because with God, all things are possible. And he can change your life just like that. Though I ain't good enough, but God still loves me. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you have gained any insight from this video, I do ask that you hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you have not already joined my channel, don't forget to subscribe to the network so that you can be reminded when I update new content. On that note, I'm going to sign off, and I will get with you in the next one. Peace.